What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I'm going to break down some very important information about Tesla, talk about why Tesla's pumping the way it is, what happened during the pre-market that actually helped, that actually changed for Tesla, and what's going on with the news that's affecting Tesla and the markets going forward. Before I say anything about all this information, though, let me just mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner, so take none of this as financial advice. And don't forget about the Moomoo link. The offer ends very soon. Put in $100 and you're guaranteed 5 free stocks with a $100 cash reward. The offer ends in just a couple of weeks. Check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. All right, so Tesla's still uptrending very, very nicely, and this was different from what I was predicting that would end up happening. That's going to tell us something new about this channel, which I will discuss a little bit later. But let's first talk about what's happening with the market. So in the morning, I was looking at the technicals, right? Before the market opened, Tesla was looking a lot weaker, and I told you guys we might get a pop on Tesla, retest this like 265 area, then potentially get a rejection. And I told you guys Tesla could sink even more because of the market. I was getting some bearish signals on SPY, also for the QQQ. If you look at SPY, this thing just came all the way down to 435, so I did catch this move initially. But later on, the market started to get a lot of buyers after the Fed Williams started speaking for some time, and also after the algos ended up kicking in because of other factors as well, such as inflationary numbers, inflationary expectation numbers, and things like that. But anyways, I don't want to talk too much about that. I want to now focus on Tesla, what just came out. So the news came out a couple of hours ago that Rivian is going to be the next automaker to adopt Tesla's charging plugs. And this once again relates to what I mentioned to you guys earlier about how there's a domino effect of more and more companies adopting Tesla's charging plugs. So first it was, we had GM and Ford that joined in, and now Rivian is joining in, and now Hyundai is interested in joining in as well. The more companies join in, the more bullish news this is for Tesla, because more companies will be joining in the network, and this is going to help Tesla make more and more sales, get more and more people involved, and this is going to give more power and potential for Tesla to grow. This is once again amazing news. I'm very proud of Tesla for this, and this will continue to help their charging network grow more and more. And on top of this, there was more news that came out that Prime Minister Modi from India is going to be meeting up with Elon Musk during the trip to the USA. This is once again great, great, great news. Now, what's so good about this is not too long ago, Tesla had many Indian officials write out a plan about how they're going to be going about a gigafactory. And a lot of progress has been made. There have been some positive developments involving India opening up a gigafactory for Tesla. Now, the thing about that, though, is they're not officially done, and there are some hardships and hurdles that are just like still in the way. But with some progress being made, investors were excited about this because, once again, Elon Musk is implying that progress is being made, and it's still looking very optimistic. So that's, once again, good news for Tesla, and this is helping the share price big time. Looking at SPY, let me just remind you guys that on the 5-minute time frame, watch that 200 EMA with the extended hours on. This is going to be our next major resistance zone. And then if we bring up our levels, if we hold above this 438 resistance above the 200 EMA, we have potential to try to make an attempt for 440. It's possible. There's a lot of resistance, between 439 and 440. Market is still holding up. We're just going to have to wait and see how it reacts to this. But for now, it's trying to hold up. We had an accumulation right over here. Now let's talk about Tesla. How is Tesla doing? This makes me want to bring up something else that's important. I have been recording videos in the pre-market and talking to you guys about what technicals in real time are telling us at those instances. Now, when it comes to Tesla, I was correct about this thing getting this like pop and then like getting an initial dump with the market. But then Tesla held its moving averages very, very nicely and continued to pump because of more bullish news. I didn't know about the news at the time I recorded that video. The news did not come out about Rivian or India just yet. And as a result, the news helped Tesla pump even more. So the lesson to learn from this is that the pre-market will not always determine what's going to happen intraday. Sometimes it could be completely different. The pre-market is also not always going to be accurate for accounting for news. In fact, technical analysis does not always do the same thing as well. So for that reason, I'm going to step back a bit and just tell you guys during the pre-market updates both the bullish and bearish cases, just so that you guys know what levels to watch for, where Tesla could try to get these bounces. And then if it continued to break out, you'd know where the resistance was. So for instance, if we broke this 266 resistance, the next important level would be like 268. After that comes 270, and you can see how Tesla reacted to these levels. And after that, the next level is going to be in the 272 area. If it breaks that, it's going to get closer to 275. Those are the next major resistance levels to look out for. If it breaks 275, I mean, it's going to be well on its way to get closer to like 277.5 and potentially 280. But for now, just watch those resistance levels. For support, Tesla's going to be treating 270 as support right now. Then we have 268 as support, and below that comes 266 to 265, which is where our 50 EMA happens to be on the 5-minute time frame, and also the VWAP right over there around 265.59. And if those break, then the next important support is going to be 262.5. Notice how when Tesla came down today, it bounced very close, just a little bit under 262.5, about just under 262 flat before algos kicked in after the bullish news came out. I want to just remind you guys that sometimes I can't always account for the news. I'm not really a fortune teller, and technical analysis is not always going to show it. So I was a little right about that pump and then this dump, but I was completely off when it came to this thing continuing to get a really nice bounce. And it happens, right? Sometimes it happens. So for that reason, we're going to be accounting for both the bullish and bearish cases. I will still talk about what the pre-market tells us, but now at this point, I don't really fully trust the pre-market analysis as much now. And I just have to watch for what the news tells us more often. The pre-market, once again, it could be accurate sometimes, just not always. And I'm always going to try to be open-minded now when looking at the markets. Tesla got some very good news, and that makes me very optimistic. It's still continuing to pump. There's no major weakness now. It is hitting some tougher resistance, but it's still looking quite nice. So please, please, please watch these levels very carefully. Be open-minded, and just know this is great news for Tesla's future going forward. Also for the market, it did sink like I told you. I told you guys SPY would likely break down a bit. It came down to 435. Then we got a very nice bounce after that, which just shows how strong the market is. There's so many buyers still stepping in. The algos are also starting to buy up SPY even more. We saw more call buying than put buying overall. And algos once again bought it up like right here, around this area right here. It's still holding up and it's fighting this 200 EMA at the time of recording this. If it gets above it and holds above it, it has a lot more potential. If it fails to do so, be very careful. So watch the 5-minute 200 EMA with the extended hours on. That's important resistance for SPY. And I told you guys the support's going to be at 438 flat. If that fails us, there's 437.09, which is the 50 EMA. We have VWAP at about 436.78. 436.25, that zone right there is going to be the next support. Then we have the 435. For now, it's holding up, so watch these levels carefully. And last but not least, like I said, if we hold above the 200, there is potential for this thing to get to the 439 to 440 range. NIO had some bullish news. I think a major country, United Emirates, they are going to be buying a major stake in NIO, 7% stake in NIO. Super bullish news just came out. Once again, for the long term, very good news for NIO. For the QQQ, we're going to be watching resistance at 368.3, around that area, the 368 zone. If it manages to break and hold above 368, it has potential to fly to 370. Tesla's helping to dictate the QQQ today. If the QQQ breaks down, you're going to be watching supports at 366, 365.92, which is where VWAP is. And if that breaks, watch 364.69 and then 363. But for now, it's showing some strength. There's no major sign of weakness. It's going to be fighting for 368 as of right now. All right, guys. So that's what I'm seeing on the charts. Watch these levels carefully, and I want the best for everyone. I am sorry. Sometimes I can make mistakes. I'm a human. Sometimes technicals don't tell us everything, right? Sometimes I don't know what news is going to come out. But I'm still here for you. I'm still going to do my best. I'm always going to account for both the bullish and bearish cases now, just to be safe, because at any given moment, some new news could come out that we don't even foresee. And that could really help this stock move. So watch it very carefully. Watch what technicals tell us. Watch your levels, and I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you for listening. Have a great day, everyone. Tesla to the moon, because the long term is still incredibly bright. And peace out.